Hey, welcome into this video. Today, I want to show you Scrivener's 3 main editing modes. If you're new here, my name's TC Burr. I'm so glad you've joined. I am a new author. I started writing my debut novel after years of putting it off, and I've learned so much in the process. And I've made it my mission to kind of encourage and inspire other writers, other would-be authors to get started on their goal and to keep going, because I believe that you've got a great story inside of you and I want to see you write it. One of the things that I've learned over my time writing is that I love Scrivener. For a lot of people, though, it can be a little bit overwhelming at first. And so I wanted to kind of create this video series where I just share some of the features to help you get started in Scrivener, because I believe it's a great tool. And once you kind of learn your way around, it's a great tool. It's got tons of features, and I think you're really going to love it. So today we're going to talk about the 3 main editing modes. And what's great about these is they all work together. So particularly if you are a plotter, an outliner, Scrivener is great because you can start in note cards, you can start with an outline, and all of that kind of sets you up for writing your novel. And I'll show you what all that looks like today. By the way, I highly encourage you to get my Scrivener Quick Start Guide. This is a PDF that kind of walks you through 10 of my favorite features in Scrivener. It's a great companion to videos like this. You can get it totally free. It's at start.tcburr.com. I'll post it in the description and in a comment below, but go get that today. It's start.tcburr.com for the Scrivener Quick Start Guide. All right, before we get into this, I want to make one big disclaimer, and this is an important one. You don't need to spend money on writing software if you don't want to. So I want to encourage you with this. Great books have been written in Microsoft Word, on Google Docs, on pen and paper. Don't let a purchase tool be the hurdle that keeps you from writing your book. You can always start in one and transition later when you decide you want to invest. But hear me say, you don't have to spend money on a writing software if you don't want to, or if that's not something that's realistic for you right now. But if you want to invest, I have found Scrivener to be the best writing software. Now, I haven't tried everything, but I love Scrivener for a couple reasons. And I'll link to other videos where I've talked about this. But number one, it's got a ton of great features, a couple of which we're going to look at today. Number two, they've got a great pricing model. It is a fixed one-time cost, not a subscription, which is a huge deal to me. And number three, you don't have to take my word for it. They also have a really generous free trial that you can go and check out today. And I would encourage you to do that to see if it's right for you. But let's jump into the 3 editing modes. So I'm in Scrivener here, and the first thing you'll notice is this left-hand panel side. There's a lot of options you can explore here, but for today's purposes, let's say we're working on a novel. I'm going to select fiction and novel, and then down here at the bottom, click create. It's going to ask you for a title, and then once you click create, it will bring you into the software. So what's great here is you've got some things already preloaded here. The manuscript is where all of your writing is going to happen, and you can see it's already gotten you started here in this template with a chapter and a scene. But I'm going to take you straight into the Corkboard view because that's where I often start as an outliner. So you can see this is the first chapter. So you can leave this just as is, or you can give it a name. So chapter 1, the beginning, for example. You can also, if you double click into this card here, you can type in a synopsis. So this is where the main character is in before picture, status quo, normal life. Okay. Then if you want to create a new chapter, you hit Command N, or you hit this plus sign and go to new folder. And you can see when I do that, or excuse me, new text, you can see when I do that, it automatically creates a scene here. Now, notice that this scene is nested underneath the manuscript, but it's not in chapter 1. If you needed this scene to be in chapter 1, you could just grab this and you can see this line shows you where things are. So I want this to be in chapter 1. I'll drop it right there in chapter 1. Now this is scene 1, this is scene 2, all nested within chapter 1. So this is where you can actually start outlining your scene. So main character is in school. Scene 2, you could say main character meets a new friend. Okay, these are just a couple of quick examples. You can add as many of these as you want. And what's great is as you go to this corkboard view, you're going to look at each chapter, and each scene within the chapter is going to provide this quick synopsis. And that's just a great eyeball view for you to say, okay, here's what this one's about. You can also add a new chapter. So once you go back into the manuscript, you'll see here's chapter 1, and you'll notice that it's stacked cards here. So if you click in this chapter 1 in what's called the binder over here on the left-hand side, now you're looking at all the scenes that are in that chapter. You can continue to build out your chapters this way by going to new folder. Now you can see here's a new folder. You can call this chapter 2. And then if you want to create a scene within that, you would go to new text, and now you're creating another scene. Now, when I did this, you'll notice that it opened me up into an editing page. This is what's called Scrivenings Mode. So this is like where you go to edit. This is your word processor. So where you go to actually type out the content for your scene. If you want to go back into that note card view, you would click on Corkboard here. And what I want to point out here is that you're only looking at the Corkboard for this scene, this document. To see kind of the bigger picture, you would go into chapter 2, and then you can see there's the scene within chapter 2, or you could go to your entire manuscript. Now you're looking at both chapters. And again, if I want to look at the detail in chapter 1, I would click on chapter 1, and it's showing me the cards. So that's the corkboard. This is kind of where I start to set up my outline. But if you rather do like a traditional outline view, Scrivener offers that as well. You would click on this outliner mode over here. And again, you can start here if you like, or you can click on it and you can see the cards that we started to create are showing here in this outline mode. Now I'm looking at the manuscript levels, so it's showing me both chapters. And what's great about this is I can see the synopses at a glance. I didn't add one for chapter 2, so that's why you're not seeing that. But you can also expand to see all the scenes. This is great if you want to get a high-level view of your outline, and you can see kind of your whole book at a bird's eye view. You can also see there's some different columns here. You have the ability to kind of adjust these. One thing that I'll call out is you can set a target for your entire manuscript, for a chapter, or for a scene, which is really great. I love seeing that status bar turn green when I hit my targets, but I'll talk more about that in a future video. And lastly, I want to go back into Scrivenings mode. Again, this is kind of your word processor. This is where you write your book. And so it's great to set up your outline either through the corkboard or through the outliner mode, and then go back in. And now you've kind of got a script of what I'm going to write today, what I'm going to write tomorrow. You go to scene 1 and write that. And then right after that is scene 2. So you can have a lot of fun with this. There's so many more features and great things in Scrivener that I'll share with you in future videos. But again, I just wanted to share kind of a quick overview of the 3 modes. So to recap, there's the corkboard mode where you set your note cards. There's the outliner mode where you see the detailed outline of your book. And then Scrivenings mode is where you kind of write your draft. So that's it for today. Let me know what was most helpful or what view you think you'll use first in Scrivener. Drop it in a comment below. And if there's something else you want to see or other questions you have about Scrivener, let me know. I'll continue to post videos like this. Thanks so much for listening and viewing. And until next time, keep writing, and I'll talk to you soon. Later.